Yep. Good morning, everybody. First press conference is set to start in just about a minute here, as we will be joined by student athletes from North Carolina Central. The satellite coordinates for today, the format is 1080i, MPEG 4-420. The data rate is 11.914. The symbol is 7.2. The FEC is 5/6. DVB-S2QPSK. Just a quick note on post-game procedures. I know these teams are playing tomorrow night, but that's a common question we get. So the winner will be first because with the win, they've got to catch a flight and get on to their first-round matchup. We'll have the coach and student-athletes here first. We'll do questions for the student-athletes only, then we'll dismiss the student-athletes, and then we'll open the floor for questions for the coach. In terms of locker room access, both locker rooms will be open for 30 minutes prior to the cooling off period. So basically for the winning team, once they're up here on the dais, their locker room is open for 30 minutes. Once the winning team is dismissed, now the loser's locker room is open for 30 minutes from that point on. So there's plenty of time for you guys to get access to the locker rooms as well for quotes, video, whatever you guys need. In terms of procedural stuff, housekeeping items for the press conferences, you got a question, raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around. Just wait for it for our transcription purposes, and identify yourself by name and affiliation. And for our student athletes, it just makes things easier for us if you guys direct your question to a specific student athlete. And there's no flash photography or video recording allowed, but for video distribution sites, straight back of the room, go out there, straight across the tunnel, and the video distribution sites are in that hallway that's right across the tunnel from the room we're in right now. You guys? How you doing? Good. Zakari? Good. John? Hey. Yeah, nice to meet you. Welcome to Dayton. Now being joined by a couple student athletes from NC Central, Zakari Douglas and Rashawn Davis, and we'll open the floor for questions. Yep, right here on the left.
Rashawn, I guess the first question would be, what's different this year, because you guys were here last year, had the experience. What feels different this time around?
Last year was my first year coming, but honestly, I don't really feel like anything feels different this year. Our goal each year is to try to make history, and that's the same goal this year. So, I mean, it feels the same. We're happy to be back for the third time in a row. And we just want to get us one tomorrow and hopefully try to advance and keep playing.
Yeah, sure. Zachary, same question.
For me, it's just a blessing, you know. Not many teams, you know, can say they've been here 3 years in a row. Be here with the same group of guys, you know. My brother right here, the brothers in the locker room, you know, so it's just a blessing. Happy to be here.
You're in the right.
Beth Hool, KVLY in Fargo. Zachary, NDSU scores a lot of threes. How do you go about defending the three and putting a stop to that?
Well, coach puts in a good game plan for us, and as long as we go out and execute it, we'll be okay.
Yeah, follow up, sure. Yep.
But is that particularly hard, a three, and the confidence that these guys shoot the three with? I mean, I'm sure you've watched some film now. These guys, they're taking a couple steps back from the arc as well.
I mean, like I said, we follow the game plan. I mean, I understand they shoot them, but we follow the game plan, we'll be okay.
Here on the left again.
Rashawn, are you a superstitious guy? Or will you do anything differently this year, maybe at the hotel or pregame, just because of the way last year went?
No, sir. I move by faith. I don't really believe in superstition. It's all about the higher power to, you know, whoever serves who. But, I mean, I just believe in God, and I move by faith. So I don't really get into the superstitious stuff and do all of that. I just try to prepare the right way, just going hard in practice, and then just trying to be available for my teammates and doing everything that my coaches ask me to do.
Yep, here on the right again.
How would you guys describe the feeling for you guys of trying to get past this point? Is it frustration? Is it just a desire? How do you describe it? What's it feel like in your guys' locker room right now as you prepare for another game here in Dayton?
Rashawn, can you take that first?
Honestly, I would say this year, that's one thing that changed. Like, our locker room feels a lot different this year. I won't say last year we had some guys who didn't believe, but I really feel like this year we have some guys that really know and understand, like the opportunity that we have in front of us. And, I feel like we got a locker room full of hungry people that's ready to go conquer and overcome everything that, that we've had this far. Like, nobody sees, like, when we're running and, up early, flipping tires and doing everything that we do. So, I think, everybody in the locker room understands, like, we haven't gotten to this point 3 years in a row for nothing. And I think everybody's in the locker room ready to like, turn that corner and make the next step.
Zakari?
Like you said, we prepare for this every year, all year. And I think everyone is just really, really hungry. Like, you can see it on their faces, like the way everyone prepares, the way we locked in for film, for practices, and everything like that. I think everybody's really ready to turn that corner, like he said. So.
You're on the left.
Rashawn, last year you get out to a hot start. You had a big first half against Texas Southern. I think maybe 3 points in the second half. And after the game, Coach Moten said he thought you got tired. I think after the game you said it wasn't just you got tired, it just shots weren't falling. But did you take that as like a challenge? Like, if I get back to the spot next year, I'm going to keep going full throttle, not let up at all?
Of course. I took it personal. I just think, coming into this year, something for me to work on was like my body and, and to improve my conditioning. So when they said that was just fuel, to the fire, because I was already thinking that next year. Previously, before that comment was even made, I was already thinking that I needed to be in better shape and I needed to tone my body up a little more. So that's what I tried to spend the summer doing. So we'll see how this time turns out.
Yep, you're good.
This question is for both guys. Zakari, you can go first. Coach Moten is pretty much the face of the program. He gets a lot of attention nationally. A lot of people know him. His videos go viral. His tweets go viral. His comments are picked up by outlets all over the country. What's it like playing for him? What's it like when the cameras aren't on him? What kind of guy is he? What's he like just around you guys when it's just you guys in the gym?
Coach Moten's a good guy. I love him. He goes hard for us every day, so everything that you see, like he kind of takes the blame for it, everything that we go through, or he takes the shine for it. So, he's there for us, the good and the bad. Good guy, so I can't really say too much about him. It's just I'm happy that I'm able to play for him.
Rashawn?
As Z said, he's a good guy, and I really feel like deep down in my heart that he has like our whole team best interest at heart. Like, he wants the best for us in every way. So, me being a player and him being my coach, I have to respect that, because I can't like say the same. I can't say that it's the same way for every coach. So, I'm appreciative in just that manner that, that he loves us and that, he wants us to really succeed in life. And not even like just on the basketball floor. When basketball is done, he really wants us to prevail and just be something, good in life. So I appreciate that.
Your left.
And just to follow up to that for both guys, every year, especially the last 3 years, his name is always brought up about openings in different positions and going to a bigger school sometimes. Has he ever addressed that with you guys in March or in the off season or talk about that?
Rashawn?
Nah, he never does. And truth be told, I try to stay out of the media. I don't really, I don't have an Instagram, so I don't really do the media like that. But whatever I hear, I just kind of shake it off, and I just kind of feel like, when he's ready for us to find out, and when he wants to, let us know, that he'll do that. Until then, I don't spectate and do all that other stuff. So.
Zakari?
Yeah, like you said, don't really get into too much of the social media thing. Like, everyone has their own story about everything. So, you just keep everything in house, and when everything's ready to be talked about, it'll be talked about.
Any further questions? All right, Zakari, Rashawn, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. And we will be joined by the head coach of NC Central, Lavelle Moten, 11:40, so in about 10 minutes. you said it was 3 years in a row. Is it really? It might, yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago they got it improved, but not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Coach Muffin here last year. Is this their third straight year in James or third straight year in Ashburn? It is, really? I remember it last year, but I don't know that I remember Coach Muffin here 2 years. Last year I remember it being 2 years ago. And lost the first one.
Wait, what? St. Joe's let Martelli go. You're kidding. Whoa. They fired Martelli? Whoa. No. Wow. I thought he'd leave on his own terms. We good? All right, and momentarily we will be joined by the head coach of NC Central, Lavelle Moten. There we go. Right here. Good to see you. Welcome to Dayton again. Lavelle, if you'd like, you make an opening statement, and we'll open the floor for questions.
Oh, well, we're obviously happy to be back here. A wonderful city, a wonderful atmosphere, and we're here to try to get a tournament victory. Questions?
Questions for Coach Moten? Yep, right here in the back, on the right or left.
Coach, playing in Dayton, you guys will be the only tournament game going on at that time slot tomorrow. Do you see this as an opportunity to kind of elevate your university a little bit, get it into the national spotlight?
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's a wonderful opportunity, not only for our program, but just our university. We have an incredible university, and oftentimes basketball is considered the front porch to allow others to come in and see the different programs and the type of education and the law degrees that we have to offer as well. So we're doing it for the totality of the university, and we look forward to being on primetime television so people can understand and educate themselves more about North Carolina Central University.
Your front left.
Coach, now you've had time to watch film a little bit on North Dakota State. They shoot the three a lot. Do they remind you of anyone, maybe in the MEAC or someone you've played non-conference when you watch their film and the way they play?
They have different pieces that remind me of different individuals that we played against. Collectively, they're almost like an anomaly. They have a stretch five. Most people have a stretch four. They have a stretch five that can really shoot the basketball, and a lot of times they put their five and their point guard in some ball screen situations and just let the other three freelance or have some kind of motion movement back there. We've never played against that. And that's what makes it the anomaly, that they have a stretch five and an incredible point guard who's capable of taking, a game over at the drop of a dime. So we watched it last night, a little bit the night before, and when we leave here today, we'll try to go implement a game plan to put our kids in the best situation possible to be able to guard them.
We're here again.
After last year's game, Rashawn had a big first half. They think he had like 3 in the second half. And at the podium last year, you said you feel like he got tired or worn down a little bit. He said he took that personally to change his body and play better this year. Did you see that right away, his commitment to changing his body and his game and getting back to the stage?
Yeah, I don't. When I said it, I don't think it was a knock to him not being in shape last year. I think what people have to understand, and again, we don't make excuses. Friday night, we left our semifinal game. We left the arena at 1 o'clock in the morning. We get back to the hotel. We got to find the kids something to eat. We eat at 1:45, watch personnel at 2 a.m. in the morning, then got to wake up at 8 o'clock and eat breakfast because we got a 1 p.m. championship game. Well, you win that game and you're really playing on fumes because it's not even a 24-hour turnaround. Your adrenaline is here. You don't sleep that night. Sunday you got to go back, get ready for the selection show. So you don't sleep there. Now we head out and we fly out. So your body gets caught up into that over a week's time. And I thought he wore out within that week. I thought that week wore him out because I'm worn and I haven't ran up and down the court yet, right? So I can only imagine how they felt. So we just tried to manage their bodies and manage the situation a little better so they could get off their feet a little bit. So I hope he can play 40 minutes because that's what I plan on playing him. And I think he'll definitely be ready for it.
Right here on the right.
Beth Wool, KVLI in Fargo. Coach, what have you and your staff maybe learned and think will benefit you guys this time around about a quick scout and a fresh opponent?
I just told my wife, I said the great thing is that we're here. We're in this tournament. It's something that we asked to be in. The bad thing is there's no bad teams. Like, you have to play your A game. Your C game is not going to get, you don't get away with that. If you're a number 1 seed, you can probably play a C game in advance. For us, we got to be clicking on all cylinders. So, it's really difficult to have a one-day scout because you got to gather all of the information. And you got to make sure that the video you're watching wasn't the best game of a certain individual. You got to honestly know who they are. Then you got to play it by the numbers. So I think at this time, too much tape may not be good for you. I think it got to be a healthy balance. And we've been around the game long enough to know the tendencies of certain individuals. And I'm sure they'll do some things differently. We will too. But I know they're a really good basketball team that shoot the basketball extremely well, and we got to get out and defend the three-point line.
Yep, follow-up.
Jumping off of that, they have shot a lot of threes. They are incredibly confident in that. I try to get your guys to talk a little bit about how you defend the three because it is so difficult. They kept diverting to you. What do you say to your team about defending the three in such a confident group as the Bison are there?
The first thing you have to do is get back. You know, a lot of teams that want it, it's 2 3-point shots in the game that will absolutely kill you. It's the transition three where you don't find the guy, and then it's the offensive rebound that they get where you're kind of scrambling, they kick it out to another guy. So to simplify things and put it in layman's terms, we have to play 5-on-5 basketball at all times, if that makes sense. It can't be 4-on-3, it can't be 5-on-4, 3-on-2, or 2-on-1. We got to be 5-on-5. We have to be back in front of them, and if they're going to shoot them, make them shoot that basketball over a contested arm, and I think our chances would be great of defending the three-point line.
You're in right.
Lavelle, the second game tomorrow night features a point guard coach who also played in Durham, Bobby Hurley. I know he was a little bit ahead of you, but during your college days, did you guys ever cross paths or meet up on practice court scrimmages, anything like that?
All the time. We played pickup all the time together. We always went over there. They always came to us. I think I want to say I was a freshman when Bob was there, and he was hanging around. Me and Grant Hill was pretty close, so I always was with Grant a lot, and, you know, it was just known pickup games throughout the summer. I have tons of respect for Bob because he's always been feisty. He's always had a chip on his shoulder. And just like his brother Dan and his father, if you ever met the family, if you know the family, you know how it goes. And, you know, he's done a tremendous job at Arizona State.
We're here to left.
So it seems like pretty much every year the MEAC winner or the SWAC winner, sometimes both, end up playing in Dayton. Just wondering what you make of the winners of the HBCU conferences coming here for the play-in rounds more often than not.
You know, I think I would like for the committee, you know, I know they resumed and, you know, made a couple of addendums and changes and modified how they view, you know, certain teams in terms of the selection. I would like for them to review that as well, because a lot of times to fund some of our programs, we have to take on guarantee games. So a lot of times our record is no indication of actually how good we are. We're just being placed in some challenging situations. In terms of us, I can only speak for us now. It's so difficult for us to schedule. Like, this is a gift and a curse. So when we leave this tournament and we call schools and say, can we play a home and home next year? The answer is no, right? The answer is no, thank you, but no thank you. So now we got to go out and play more guarantee games just because we can't get anyone to play us and schedule us. So there's a possibility you're playing 8, 9 games that on paper you have no chance of winning. And that's difficult. So now you got to fight and claw your way back. And now they look at the record at the end of the year, 18 and 15 or whatever it's going to be, and then they send you here. And there's been times that we won 22 games and they sent us here. I have no problem with that. I just want it to be parity across the board because we got a great product that the world needs to see as well as others. I saw this year, I noticed during the selection show that they always have these teams. And they started maybe the last 2-3 weeks of the regular season saying the last 4 in, this guy's out, this team may be whatever. Well, those last 4 teams that got in, let them come here because they get an opportunity to buy games and they get an opportunity to have a little more utopia, a little more privilege in what they're doing. And maybe that should be for them and allow us to go experience the big dance on another scale. But you know, I got mixed emotions. I'm here. I'm not really complaining. But I just want them to educate themselves and do a little more research, and I think it'd be a little fair.
Here on the left.
Coach Melvin, regardless of how things go tomorrow, and especially if they go well for you guys and you guys win, you pretty much know the drill. The last few off seasons, especially when you guys get to the tournament, your name is always tossed around for openings and jobs. Mm-hmm. How do you block that out this time of year? How do you address it at all with the team or with anybody on campus?
You know, I'm kind of used to it in terms of social media is just a different beast. You know, it can be great or it can be bad depending on how you utilize it. What I found is a lot of times when your name is floating around on social media for a job, that school or you are not interested in that job. The jobs that I've really been offered, no one on Twitter ever knew about. So I know it's always the private in the back conversations, and I've informed, you know, my athletic director, our school, they understand. They understand now with winning comes this. And it's not only in our sport, it's in Major League Baseball. You see in the contracts in football, it's just what it is, man. It's $1 billion industry, and it's a business at the end of the day. And everyone wants to put themselves in their families in the best situation possible. But I think the way to control it is just be truthful. You know, I've always been truthful with my administration and told them, look, this school is calling, that school is calling, and I let them and my agent have some backroom conversations. And when you're truthful, that's what builds the trust and understanding, because they understand people are going to call, but they just don't want you interviewing behind their back or, you know, any fugazi type activity. So I've just always been truthful and told my team it comes with the territory.
Yep, here again.
Just to follow up to that, you may not get this question, but, you know, of course, the media around the triangle, we're always getting asked, you know, what's he waiting for? How come no one has scooped him up yet at a bigger school? Mm-hmm. If someone asked you that directly, how would you answer those questions?
I'm extremely blessed, man. I love North Carolina Central University, and, you know, I mean, you know my background, you know where I'm from, so, man, I get paid to coach basketball. I never in a million years thought I would do that. There's been other job opportunities that I have turned down, and the reason I've turned those jobs down, it had nothing to do with the school. As a grown man with a family now, my decision is really not about me. I'm going to be in a basketball gym or on the road recruiting wherever I go. If I go to Tokyo, Japan, I'm going to be in a gym recruiting or watching. So it's not about me, it's about my family's quality of life. And I have younger kids, so at the end of the year, we go back and assess the situation, and anything to put my kids and my wife in the best situation possible, you know, that's what I've always done. But I'm always grateful that I do have a job, because it didn't have to end up this way as well, neither.
Any further questions for Coach Moten? Lavelle, thank you. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, guys.
Next scheduled start of a press conference is 12:05. We will be joined by student athletes from North Dakota State at 12:05. right, we're now being joined by student athletes from North Dakota State, Vinny Shahid, Jared Samuelson, Tyson Ward, and Rocky Cruiser. If you've got a question, just raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around. We just ask that you wait for the mic for our transcription purposes, and that you just direct your question to a specific student athlete. There's no flash photography or video recording allowed.
But I think we got hot at the right time. Obviously, ended up the season, ended in our conference tournament, going pretty well.
Tyson?
I think we just gathered in the right timing. You take a couple losses and you get a little hurt, get a little flustered, and then you bounce back and you turn into who you really are, and you wake up and you realize that you don't want to lose anymore. So I think that's what it really took for us, just a gut check a couple times and get together and come together and talk about what we really want to do and how we want to do it, and that's the way it really kind of rolled out.
Jared?
Yeah, I think we just kept grinding through the season. Didn't really change much, to be honest with you. We just kept competing in practice, got after one another, and started playing our best basketball at the best time that we needed to.
Vinny?
I think this team did a really good job of growing together. You hear a lot of things about how this group is inexperienced and young. I think we did a good job of growing together as a group throughout the season, and that's why we're playing our best basketball right now.
Here on the aisle, on the right.
Zach Miller, University of Dayton. Obviously, it's a great honor to be here, get into the tournament. I'm sure you're focused on the game at hand, but if you guys do win, you will play the #1 seed Duke. Any game plan for that, or just focused on the game at hand?
Vinny, can you answer that?
We just try to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. So right now we're worried about North Carolina Central. They're a really good team, and we've got some things we have to do in order to win that game. But we're only focusing one game at a time.
Right here.
Sean O'Gara, University of Dayton. So you guys were 9th ranked in the country for free throw percentage this year. Is that something that happened in practice, or was there some type of preparation as a team, or could you speak to that a little bit?
Jared, can you answer that?
Honestly, not really. I think it's just kind of stepping up to the line, knocking it down. I think we got some good shooters on this team, and we all get in the gym on our own time. It's not really something we prioritized, I would say. I think it's just due to our time in the gym.
Any further questions? All right, Vinny, Jared, Tyson, and Rocky, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. Next scheduled start of a press conference, we will be joined by the head coach of North Dakota State, David Richmond, at 12:25. All right, we're now joined by the head coach of North Dakota State, David Richmond. David, if you like, you can make an opening statement, and we'll for questions.
Yeah, thank you. First off, it's pretty evident why Dayton continues to get the first four. This place, we've been treated very first class from the time we landed here to the time we got to the hotel, and including the bagpipe welcome that we got at the Holiday Inn too. And so, great basketball community, a gentleman that I got a lot of respect for, Scott Nagy, the head coach at Wright State. You can see why he's able to have a ton of success here and get supported in a great way. Certainly we're excited to be here, but make no mistake, this is a business trip for us. We're here to compete. We feel over the last, you go back to January 24th at South Dakota State, we got our tails kicked in. And from there, our group has really responded. We won 5 in a row. Even the 3-game slide that we had, we felt like we were playing a really good brand of basketball, just weren't able to finish some things. And when Vinny Shaheed hit that shot against Fort Wayne to close it out, our last regular season game of the year, it was big. It built a lot of momentum for us. It allowed us to have a terrific week of practice with a lot of spirit and joy behind it. And, they say it's important to be playing your best when your best is needed, and that's what this group is doing. What we strung together Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday in Sioux Falls was something special. But again, I don't think it came to really anybody's surprise in that locker room. Maybe some people outside of that locker room. But you go back to the additions that we had in the fall, the additions that we had last spring, and the way they all came together. There was always talent. There's a love in that locker room. There's a joy in that locker room. It's been an absolute pleasure to be around, and we're looking forward to continuing to embrace this journey. Take any questions.
Right here on the left.
Jeff Culhane, Bison Radio Network. Coach, just illustrate for everyone how your team has come together. You alluded to it, winning the 5 in a row and playing well in Sioux Falls, but what items on the floor and the togetherness in the locker room has developed the chemistry with your basketball team where we're at today in Dayton?
Yeah, I think the word that I keep going back to with this group is experience. And you can talk to this group about experience. You can show this group, some situations. But they've always had to go through the experience, actually walk it, actually have their behavior in that moment. And you can see that going back to that South Dakota State game at South Dakota State, that was really the last experience for that group. And once we came out of there, it was just, hey, there are no more excuses. There are no more experiences that you're not prepared for. And they really took off from there. But again, the thing that's really special is the internal leadership in the locker room. I think as a coach and as a staff, you always have a plan and a vision. And when you have a couple guys hurt or you have some failures early in the process, some guys can question some things, or it'd be really easy to question some things. And because of our internal leadership, they never did those things. They stayed the course. And again, you probably heard them say it, 14-1, 1-14. They don't like each other. They love each other. And that's a huge reason why we're here.
Right here on the right.
Brian Shaw, Midco Sports Network.
We should have done this in Fargo.
We have a few times, Dave, over the years. Just wanted to ask you about the way you guys were able to shoot the ball from outside the arc in particular. And I know you're getting contributions from 10 guys all that played, but 1 through 10, they can all shoot from outside the arc at a pretty high clip. Did you anticipate you'd have the ability to do that here late in the season?
Again, I thought we did a little bit, Brian. You go back to that Western Illinois game. We played 10 guys, and 9 of them make a 3. That's something that we've talked about from a depth and versatility standpoint that we had is a great asset for us. And the thing that I'm really, really encouraged with is, we've been shooting a lot of threes. Fortunately, we've been making a lot of threes, almost 50% in the conference tournament. But it's the types of threes that they are, the product of where those passes have come from. We're scoring off the pass. We're playing inside out. We're trusting the ball reversals. It's not a come down and 9-10 dribble into a step back 3. It's guys in rhythm. It's comfortable. And you guys have probably heard me say it, especially you two, Brian and Jeff, it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. And how we're doing it is at an effective rate right now, and it's the guys understanding where those threes are coming from and how they're coming.
You're on the left.
You talk about experiences, Coach, in North Carolina Central, a team. This is our 3rd straight year being here. Obviously, our first here at the First Four in Dayton. When you flip on the tape and watch their team and how they play and what they do, what comes to mind, and does that experience lend itself somewhat of an advantage for their basketball team here?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly something that we're going to find out 6:40 tomorrow night. But I think the thing that I've stressed from an experience standpoint is to our guys is as quickly as you can understand, you're going to go out and play a game of college basketball, something that you've done for 33 times this year, something that you've done your entire life. That's what you need to understand. But when you look at North Carolina Central, this is a very well-coached team. They execute extremely well in the half court on both ends of the floor. And I think make no mistake, that's winning basketball in March. And they play through the Davis kid. They've got multiple other weapons to go around him. And then defensively, it's just rock solid. I don't know if it was 13 or 15, but to hold Norfolk State to 13 or 15 points in the conference championship is remarkable. And you can see, able to show our guys some clips of they're well schooled. And to those kids' credit, they go out and execute how they're schooled. Thank you.
Any further questions? You guys good? All right, David, thank you. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Next scheduled start of a press conference is 12:50. We will be joined by student athletes from St. John's at 12:50, so in just about 20 minutes from now.